it's Amy from paperandspool.com, and I'm here today sharing my December daily foundation pages with you. I'm using an old album. It's got December daily on the side here. I believe this is from the 2014 kit, which I bought twice, and it came with two different colors. There was an ivory album and then this kind of like orangey red album. And I've had this sitting in my stash for quite a few years, and I'm trying to use up some of what I have. So I looked at what I had on the shelf, and I thought that this would be a good next fit into my album progression. And I'll just take you through what I've got on the inside. So I just made a transparency with a little bit of a wood grain look, using a graphic and my silhouette with white vinyl on a transparency page that I got on Amazon. I had a similar looking transparency at the beginning of my 2017 album that I had bought in a store, but I haven't been able to find anything like it recently, so I just made this one myself. Then I've got the December 2019 from the Liz Tamanaha Paisley Press kit available on Allie's website. I really like that she keeps including a piece like this in subsequent kits, because I think the last 3 years have one like that, which is really fun. So for me, foundation pages, I just like to get a handle on one of each number. I like to put some of my favorite pieces in the pockets already. This is pretty pocket heavy for foundation pages, and as I go through the month, some of this stuff might come out of the pockets and not and be put straight into the rings or those kinds of things. And I am a very photo heavy scrapbooker, so I always try to leave some good space for photos. Like even for this number 2, this great little banner, I'm planning on having a picture of my Christmas tree here. So I tried to do a little bit of a better job this year leaving space for pictures. Sometimes I've filled everything up too full, and then I don't have space anymore. So this is a piece from last year's Merry Days, a really old kind of plastic number, and some confetti, also from the 2014 kit from years and years ago. I loved a lot of the cards from this year's Paisley Press kit, so those you'll see kind of scattered throughout here. I also bought the Crate Paper Merry Days, and these are so cute. They're like little layered tags. That was probably my favorite piece of the collection. And then I've also gone through and I took my transparencies and cut down what I had left into usable sizes, so pocket sized pieces. So if I could get a 4x6 piece out of it, I did that. If I could get 3x4 cards out of them, I just have a bunch of those sitting in my box ready to use. And this one as I think is the number 4 here. For day 5, I have these tiny little, I can take them out here and try and show you a little bit easier. These tiny little chipboard pieces that are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I believe these are from a chipboard set from last year that was all gray background. And I just took them out, and I'm planning on doing like a 5 things style journaling, or maybe like 5 wish list items or something like that, and then adding these on. I might do it kind of like magazine style, where you have like the items pictured and then the numbers beside them. We'll see how that turns out. And then I may or may not use this details rubber piece with that, but I wanted to have it in the page. A lot of times what I do with these small little pieces that I toss into the pages is just stuff that I don't want to forget to use, I put in. And I do have a couple of extra page protectors scattered throughout here, especially some of these 4-pocket ones. If I don't end up using it as this size, I'll trim off the outside one to do the 3x8, because you'll see that I'm using the old ring style, the 2 and 2, rather than the 3 and 3. So the new 3x8 protectors and then the new layout of the 6x8 protectors don't actually fit in these rings. I do have quite a few page protectors extra from what I set up here, so I am probably going to, on Saturday when it's the December Daily Prep Party, take out my fuse and try and fuse a couple of them into those newer designs, so that I've got a couple like that with the proper holes in them, rather than trying to repunch the holes, because sadly they're like really not compatible with the new page protectors at all. It would have been nice if this had remained the style, I guess. This is a page that quite a few of you saw on my Instagram. So it's just a transparency page with white polka dots on it, which I kind of love because it looks like snow. And then I use the numbers to spell, or the letters to spell 6 rather. These are an alphabet from Studio Calico that I just got in the shop. And then a number of little pieces. This is from Jessica at Colorcast Designs. This is from the Paisley Press kit, the puffy stickers, which are amazing. And then I really love these fabric tags. And I bought both the sticker set that had the fabric tags and then the separate little round ones as well, because they're just such a cool texture. And I like to put them on the outside where you can kind of feel them. And then on this side, I created these tiny little envelopes, and some of them have little detail inside the envelope, and some of them have detail on the outside of the envelope. And my plan with these is that I'm going to get my family, so my husband, my son, and I, to each write on a little card that'll go slip into these envelopes 6 of our favorite traditions, which is why I've got the 6 and traditions there. So that's my plan with that day. So it'll be a less about the photos day. And again, there's like a little extra page in there for number 7. I'm planning on doing all tag size things here. So when I print the photo, I'll cut it the same as these and add some ribbons yet. I've gone through my ribbon stash a little bit, but I still have more to look through. As you know, if you followed me for any length of time, I am crazy about ribbon. I've got tons. I tried to use some of my smaller pieces. I didn't have enough of this transparency left to make a full-size transparency, but I was kind of inspired by what Ali did in her foundation pages as well, kind of just putting 2 things together. And so I just sewed with a zigzag stitch across these 2 pieces, a paper that I knew I would love, and then this transparency, which was really awesome. So I don't know, maybe I'll add a photo here, like a skinny photo or something else. And that one's not technically supposed to function as a number, but it's got a lot of numbers on it. And we'll see how that goes. I really love this page, this North Pole map. This is, again, I think from the 2014 kit. It's really old. I've had it for years. But maybe we'll put our Santa photos in here. Some of the cards were just super awesome this year. This one, like, bah humbug, so great. These are really old numbers. I think I got them at Michael's. They were a Heidi Swap one, and I think they were meant for like decorating up, but I've always just, they're kind of, I don't know if you can see it, they're embossed. They have polka dots running all the way throughout them and then an outline as well. So they're a really fun, big impact number. And I just like putting them floating in the pockets because they look good from both sides. This one here was inspired by Pam Baldwin. She did something really similar for the watch story kit for Allie's classroom. And so I had the scratch off stickers and I just put all of the movies that we tend to watch in a couple of rows with the VHS. And ironically enough, we actually have most of these on VHS still, and we still have a VHS player. We're kind of in the dark ages, I suppose. But yeah, just a really fun way. I'll let my son scratch them off as we watch them. So a cool way to keep track. And then there's lots of room on the back there for a full-size photo or something to go with it. I loved these tags. I think these are the 2015 kit. These tags were so awesome, and I really only have a few numbers left. So every year when I go to set up, it's kind of dictated which number gets to be the tag by what I have left. I think I have only 4 or 5. This was just a great transparency I found at my local scrapbooking store, just gold dots, really nice look. I pulled a few pieces from the Merry Days kit that I didn't, or the Merry Days collection from last year that I didn't end up using, and put them in right away because there were still a couple that I thought were really, really nice and wanted to include them. This is the 12 envelope from the Advent calendar, and you'll see that I opened it already. I couldn't help myself. So I peeked into every envelope just so that I would know what was coming. I don't have the stuff all out of the envelopes yet. And you'll see this is the only thing that's made it into the album here. But my plan is to kind of take them down and use the stuff as we go through the month. But I wanted to have an idea of what was there so that I didn't plan a whole bunch of other stuff and then not use it. But I think I will still try. So hopefully maybe in my videos in December, you'll see me pull out an envelope to try to incorporate those pieces onto the page as I go. Really loved this greeny turquoise in the Paisley Press Mini this year. It was such a great color to match so well with the Snowflake collection from Crepe Paper. And then some of the stuff that I didn't do yet, I just wrote myself a note so that I would remember what I wanted to do. So I don't have a number 13 in here, but this is what I want to do. I want to do 13 stamped or with letter stickers. So I have that idea written down so that I don't forget it. Because sometimes when you have ideas, you just forget them. 14, and this you can see is really just to have the numbers, the card that I really want to use. This is a transparency I printed myself with kind of like a Ray Dunn style font in the middle there, and then the digitals on the side kind of coming in, and then the big gold 15. This is an old one. This is, I believe, from the Emily Lay mini kit several years ago, but I love that font and that look with the gold. So again, you can see here a few extra page protectors just because I'm figuring I'm probably going to use some, and they're a lot emptier than I usually do. So I'm trying to give myself the space to get these things in here, to get my photos in and not take out as much as I sometimes do. I just made this little pocket using one of the 12 by 12 pieces of paper from the Crepe Paper Snowflake collection, and then put the pleather circle on the front there. And these, if you didn't buy these, I'm so sorry, because they're awesome. I think they're sold out now, but they're such a nice texture and they're really, really fun. Only one of them was dated 2019, so I'm going to have to figure out where to use that one in this album specifically, because it won't hold over in my stash until next year. But honestly, there were 5, I think, in the package, and I will probably end up using all 5. So like knocked it out of the park on that one. Really nice stuff. This needs a 17 yet, and I haven't decided how I'm going to do that. I might put it on the back here or on this side, but I wanted to leave myself a little bit to do on the online prep party, because otherwise it would be all done. And I wanted to have some space for doing stuff. This is an old Teresa Collins transparency that I found at my local scrapbook store with the pink stripes, and I just thought with the collections that I was using this year, it fits so perfectly. It's funny, I've had this for I think 3 years. I've wanted to use it almost every year, but it's never quite felt right with the other products that I've had, but this year it seems to mesh in so perfectly. So I'm pleased to have pulled that out. For 18, I went a little bit craftier with the number. I took one of the 18s from last year's main kit and those little pine branches from the Snowflake collection, and then one of the ephemera, I'm not sure how we all say that, pieces, and just tied it all together with a little bit of cord that I had found in a cool thing. So that's just gonna slip in here. I am guessing that I'm going to have to adhere this down at some point because it's not really staying in the pocket. It keeps kind of creeping up, but that's I think because the cord, the knot is so big. But at some point I might just take a glue dot and put it on the back and adhere it down, because it actually looks really sweet from the back too. It doesn't look bad at all with that white star. It's something that I could see myself doing anyways. I really like this card here that kind of gives you the spaces for the stories. It's like, put your stories here. So easy to use. So I'm planning on filling that with photos. I used to have a transparency with stars on it, and I believe it was from Studio Calico years ago that I loved, and I think I had gotten 2 or 3 of them over the years, and I used them all up. So this year I just cut white vinyl stars on my silhouette, and I took just a regular star shape and traced it, and then I just wonkied it up a bit. I just moved some of the corners out and in so that it was a little bit more, had a little bit more personality, because nothing in the Snowflake kit is perfectly square. They're all just a little bit unique. And so I wanted this page to have some of the same look. And I really like this is very see-through, so it doesn't, I don't feel like this has to have a lot happening on the front of it by itself. It can just be kind of like a go-through page and as you're going on to the next one. A little bit more from the Merry Days and last year or 2 years ago's Paisley Press Mini. As you can see, I buy the Paisley Press kit every year and I've got lots of pieces still. Here's another page where I went a little bit more crafty on the number. I took the number 20 from last year's main kit and Season of Joy from this year's Paisley Press kit, and then layered it up with some of the pieces from the Snowflake kit, and then a really nice sparkly ribbon. So I'm liking how that looks. And on the back, I left it blank, and I will adhere this down once I kind of work on day 20, but I left this blank for either a full-size photo or some journaling. So I'm not sure yet what's gonna go there, but I didn't adhere this ribbon or anything like that so that I have the ability to add more onto the back of that quite easily. Now here's another one of those ones with 2 spaces. So I'm not sure yet if I'll pick one of them or do both of them. One was from this year's kit and one was from last year's kit, and I never ended up using it in last year's album, sorry. So I want to use at least one of them, but maybe both of them, and kind of keep it as a repeating element, use it as a way to do some repeating motifs. I also really want to, when the time comes or when I'm working on the day, do something where I pull up, like have a pull-up thing that comes all the way up out of a bottom 4x6 pocket to read or something like that, with like a tab on the top. That's an interactive element that I think I'm going to try to do this year. And honestly, with the 4x6 pockets like this, that's a really easy one to do, because you could do it on the two 4x6 ones, or you can do it on the one that has the 4x6 on the bottom and the two 3x4s on the top. So that's one that I've kind of got written down in my idea book that I want to try. And I didn't want to set it up totally in foundation pages, because that'll be really story dependent. So as I go through, I'll probably add something like that. I really love this It's a Wonderful Life. And I might choose to put a photo of us watching It's a Wonderful Life up here or something like that. We haven't watched it for the last couple of years, so I imagine this will be a year that we do. This is a piece of vellum that has numbers on it, which is kind of cool. And I'm not sure yet. I might try and do something like circling a number or something like that, or adding something in like red stickers or pink stickers on the top, or maybe even green, to add a number there. But you'll notice that I don't have anything down for 22. And for 22, I really want to do some circle elements, like in the 2x2 page protector or something like that. But I have to fuse a page protector first. So I'm going to be leaving that again to something that I can kind of play around with at the prep party, and something that's a little bit more crafty. 23, just the number sitting out ready to go. Christmas Eve, I don't know. Oh, I did put a 24 in, but I also used this, I put this Christmas Eve chipboard from the Paisley Press because it's such a great chipboard piece that I really don't want to miss out on using that. And I loved the combination of these journaling cards, because the colors here were just amazing. And this may or may not stay in. I'm not 100% sure. For day 25, I've got some more of those kind of see-through plasticky letters. I did not buy the main kit this year, so I don't have the smaller plastic numbers. So I'm planning on using these for kind of similar effect. It's not something that I wanted to DIY myself, so I looked through what I had and found something that was pretty similar. And these are really nice, a nice little font. I really like the look of them. They've got a nice, the 2 has a really nice circle on the swash. It's really good. For the December calendar, I've often done the calendar at the beginning of the album. I think I'm going to do it at the end of the album this year, and just use it as a place for all of those little pieces, like from the sticker sheets and everything, that didn't get a home. So I'm going to try and include some small pictures in here as well, maybe a little bit more interactive than some of my calendars have been in the past, because I've often prepared my calendar in advance and never really come back to it. So it's never really included pictures or anything like that. And then here at the back, I've got our custom family portrait that I did using the portrait builder that I bought. And so we've got just a cute little stylized version of our family, and the little pup, and just a Merry Christmas. So that's all I've got going on here in my foundation pages so far. So if you have any questions about what I've prepared here in advance or how I plan to use it, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm more than happy to answer those questions in the comments. And I hope I'll see you at the prep party, well, virtually see you at the prep party on Saturday as we go through those videos and topics that the Allie's team has prepared. I think it'll be a lot of fun, especially for the cost. It seems like a great way to have some community and spend time together working on one of our favorite projects. So again, please feel free to ask me any questions that you've got, and that's a look at what I have set up for my foundation pages so far. And I know that there's not a lot of people working in 6x8 this year on Allie's creative team, so hopefully I can help out with some of you who are looking for 6x8 inspiration, and take some of the ideas that we see in the 4x6 and the 3x8 into the 6x8 album as well, which I think is a great size, especially for me with my young family. My son is grade 1, and Christmas is huge. My husband's family is huge into Christmas. I really love Christmas, so I don't think I can go much smaller than the 6x8. So you can probably rely on me for that for a few years. Anyways, thanks again for following along, and we'll see you online or in the party. Thanks.